You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Breaking the Ice and Carolina Hurricanes Elimination Day, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. It's a long sound effect. Okay, regardless, I'm Connor Cupin. I'm hype. And we got a lot of special guests in the room today because it's the playoffs and it's the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals. On mic 2, I got Devils Report. Daniel Lamoya's back after missing a couple weeks. And, how's it going today? It's been DoorDashing so much lately. There's nothing better you can do than join Daniel's DoorDashing private story.
Hey, I mean, you got to do it in person with me once, so
that is true.
You can vouch there, you and Campbell.
Campbell was there for that one, and there was a dispute with soda and the rest of the order. That's the funniest thing ever. On mic 3, Matt Vitale makes his return back-to-back episodes. How's it going, man?
Doing well. Happy to be back.
As a Rangers fan, I'm sure there's not much going on right now.
You are correct.
So, Justin Brady is late, guys. He'll be here eventually.
Common Devils Fanatics L.
So, Common Devils Fanatics L. What time? Let's give a line. Let's go with, I want 2:30. 2:30 is the
3:59.
3:59. I think, what's a genuine fair line to make? 2:20 or 2:30? 2:20
2:30.
2:30, all right. Before or after? Will Justin get here before 2:30 or after 2:30?
I'm going to go before exactly 2:27 on the dot.
I'm going to go after. I'm going to go 2:42.
I'm going to also hit him with the before. You think Justin will be 40 minutes from now?
I'm a hater.
That's a lot. Well, boys, NHL season. We're not even going to talk. We get started with it, but there's a lot of topics we're going to cover today. There's a lot of off-season stuff going on already. Not off-season, but for an off-season for some teams. We got the Worlds going on right now. And, I want to start this episode off fantastic way right here. So, Daniel, last week AJ took his shot.
Yep.
No, that was 2 weeks ago, actually. It was 2 weeks ago. You got a rebuttal on Instagram, but, he took his shot when you weren't there. So now I think you have
a weak move.
You have a floor right now. You can punch back.
See,
take a punch back.
I'm going to refuse to do that because I will not do it when he's not here like he did to me. I will do it when he is right next to me. I will say it all to his face. So I'm going to leave it at that.
So we're going to save it for next week, guys. The bout. We should have a whole fight card here. The main event and then the undercards we can have I don't know. I mean, I feel like what if you just do, if that's the main event, now Nem and Justin can be an undercard because today Justin asked in our group chat, and I quote, "Is it okay if I come late to the show or I come mid-show?" And Nem was like, said some expletives. You know what I'm saying? From the rafters, just took Devils Fanatics to the crib. So that's why he's late right now, because Nem put him in his place.
Yeah, I think he's just in his room crying.
He's in his room crying
with
now.
An open Photoshop with his Devils Fanatics graphics, just bawling on his keyboard, and I wouldn't blame him.
Daniel, now first episode with the Devils not having games to play. Now you can finally give a full season review. Your final thoughts. Second round, 5 playoff wins on the year. Second round, big season turnaround. Now that the season's over, give us your final season review, what you like, what you didn't like, what this means going forward, and just overall thoughts on the 2023 New Jersey Devils campaign.
I mean, in all truthfulness, I'm ecstatic with the result. I really, if you told me this in October, I would have signed up for it in a heartbeat. We really, at our max potential was to be like a borderline wild card team, and we finished 3rd in the entire league. We really set a name for ourselves, and I think that's all you could ask for. We had the largest point turnaround in NHL history. If anyone is calling this season a failure, you're just moronic, in all honesty. To go from having, we had, I believe, 27 wins all of last season, and this season we had 26 comeback wins.
I'm just I'm going to ad-lib with my sound effects to your speech right now.
So we had almost our entire win total from last season and just comebacks. Like I said, 3rd in the NHL. We had a lot of players of our core who are still extremely young take huge strides. We have a ton of cap space to work with, a ton of prospects. Cough Luke Hughes, who barely even played this season and showed us what he's capable of and will continue to do so. He's younger than I am. He'd be the youngest person on Breaking the Ice, actually, if Luke Hughes was part of it.
Wow, what a sentence there.
So that just puts some perspective. They didn't play their greatest against Carolina, but the fact that we were able to take out the Rangers in 7 games, especially after that start, to persevere and show our guys what playoff hockey is like, that is such valuable insight for them.
You ruined Matt's whole month.
Over. It's over.
Hey, I mean, we're both on the golf course now, so does it really matter? But
both at Top Golf. 'Cause that's what we got here in New Jersey.
But yeah, we really exceeded everyone's expectations. We could have played better. Obviously, in the Carolina series, they played their game really well and stuck to their system and caught us a little off guard. But overall, such a successful season. I didn't think we'd be anywhere close to where we are, and we really just set ourselves up to have a very successful future. So there's only one team that wins the Stanley Cup, right? In this case, I think there's a good chance it's the Florida Panthers.
Yo, listen, hear me out.
Could you have imagined that a few months ago when the amount of times Connor would be like, "Let's check the Cat schedule. Oh, they lost again. Oh, at least they got a point this time." Like it was so depressing. I almost felt bad for you in a sense, Connor, because you had that.
I dared saying that our team switched spots from last year, and well, maybe not.
You had that President's Trophy winning team that just got embarrassed in the playoffs, and then you start off terribly. And a part of me felt for you because I'm like, wow, he's a Marlins fan too. Like it's just not going well for Mr. Cupin, and putting in all this work to host Breaking the Ice. You deserved a little some pick me up from one of your teams, and then here come the Florida Panthers out of their grave, and really it's been the Matt Tkachuk show and the Sergei Bobrovsky show, but just the way you have all these guys who, besides Tkachuk, aren't superstars in any right, but who just play so well together, who do all the dirty work, everything you want in a winning hockey team. And I said it on this show before the playoffs started. The regular season does not matter. Nothing matters. The team that gets the hottest in the playoffs is a team that's going to go all the way. And right now, I think the team that's hottest in the playoffs is the Florida Panthers.
I have never had more fun watching this team than watching Sergei Bobrovsky live up to his contract right now. Literally, like, no better time to live up to that contract than the Atlantic Division Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals. Literally, like, he has made, if I'm correct, so his last game was a 32-save shutout, and before that, game 2, he allowed only 1 goal. So he has 132 saves in the first 3 games of this series.
Sergei Brickwalski.
Sergei Brickwalski, 2-time Vezina winner. If there was a playoffs, the Conn Smythe to Bobrovsky, regardless. My team, the only one, if we get it's happening tonight. It's happening tonight. Tonight is Carolina Hurricanes Elimination Day. That's today.
Carolina Hurricanes
May
funeral.
24th, 2023. Mark it. And so let's on the Justin timer. It's 2:09. So, he's got 20 minutes. He's got 20 minutes to make 2 of us correct. We did this earlier today already. On Ant and Maz in the midday, I hosted today because Maz was late by 20 minutes. So, it was me and Khalil in here, and we set the line at 11:15. And that was too short of a line because he came at 11:20. So with 2:30 being, that's a lot. 2:30 is a lot. You know what I mean?
Justin Brady is now on his way.
Okay. Justin Brady's now on his way.
But from where is the question?
That's true.
He could be coming from FLA Live Arena for all we know.
Dude, I saw Alex was, because he lives in Daytona, he was looking at the Eastern Conference Final tickets, and they were like $100 in the nosebleeds for the Cats Canes series. And I don't know if he actually pulled the trigger or not, but he might have. I'd do it if I was there right now. I'd totally do it.
I 100% would.
Game 4, Eastern Conference Finals. But before we even get into that, now half the cast is on the golf course. Well, all of the cast is on the golf course except for the Stars fans, Carolina fans, which I don't know any Carolina Hurricanes fans. I don't think I know any Stars fans either. As of right now, it's looking like it's going to be Vegas, Florida in the Stanley Cup Final. And Matt and I were talking right before the show. The entire country is going to be Cats fans, except for that little strip called Vegas. Because who wants to see Las Vegas win the ring?
Nobody. I hope nobody outside of Vegas. Except you, and we were talking about maybe Sabres fans want to see Jack Eichel. That would be the only valid reason I could see.
Yeah, I honestly don't hate Vegas as much as anyone else does. I like them a lot, but with the way this Panthers team is, there's absolutely no way I can root for Vegas over them. So, vamos gatos.
Vamos gatos is right. Dude, nobody hates the Cats except for, Lightning fans and, maybe Flames fans right now.
Yeah, if I was a Flames fan, I would not be happy.
Dude, if I'm a Flames fan right now, how the Flames get flamed? Literally, that's how I look at that. Let's just... Daryl Suter's gone. Jonathan Huberdeau moment.
The Flames are so good at being good enough to not get a good draft pick, but poor enough to either not make the playoffs or barely squeak in and get bounced right away.
They just hired a new GM, Craig Conroy. New GM of the Calgary Flames.
Such an L organization, in all honesty. And did they get rid of Daryl Sutter?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was not a fan of him when I don't remember what rookie it was, but we talked about this on the show once when he made his NHL debut, and then the reporter after the game asked Sutter how he played, and he goes, "Wait, what number was he again?" And it's
Dude, oh my
that's
God.
your own player, a highly regarded prospect. I'm blanking on the name, but it was just such a bad look, and it's not the first time he's done something like that.
They fired Sutter 3 weeks ago, I believe, and he was brought in 2021, and they had hopes of a deep playoff run, but they lost in the second round last year, even with Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk on the roster, and the Flames tried to keep contending without the two of them, but they missed the playoffs this past year because, oh my God, Justin's here, isn't he? Everybody, Justin Brady has made his appearance. Yo, Matt, you're going to have to grab that door to keep him in. Because, so we were dead wrong. We said 2:30. It is 2:12. We could have put the line as 2:15. Everybody, Justin Brady has walked in, and he's got on a, he's got a baseball little zip up there. Let me just give him a clap.
How we doing? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
But how about those Florida Panthers? Yeah. Let's go.
So, now that you're here, I asked Daniel this question just a second ago, and now I'll give it to you. It's your first episode with no Devils games in the future on this show.
Well, the rest of this season.
Well, yes,
let's not
for
make
the
it all
rest of the
depressing.
Okay, but now give us your 2023 Devils season review. You know what I mean? Just lay it all on the line.
Well, I mean, it exceeded expectations big time. You have a team that had 63 points the season prior. You had the biggest turnaround in NHL history. You have guys developing like Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt, Luke Hughes coming into the mix. I mean, this team looks so good this year. The fact that they made it to the playoffs and they took down the Rangers in the first round to win a playoff series.
You got a Rangers fan in the corner,
You're in-
bro.
Yeah,
I'm hiding over here in the corner.
That's tough for you, but I mean the fact that the Devils got over that one hump, because sometimes teams have problems winning playoff series, like the Leafs, for example. They took them,
and the Wild. Let's use the Wild.
The Wild's
the
another
new
great
meme.
example.
That's the new meme right there.
But see, the Devils know what it takes now to win in the playoffs, so I think that's a big step, and they can only build on from here now. And then they have so much young talent still coming. This team's only going to get better, and I expect a cup in the next 5 years.
Oh, dude, I don't know why I just got this thought, but it was a Rake in the Street championship game, which we will not talk about. We're not talking about it. But before the game, we're watching. It was game 3 of Canes Devils. Game 4, Game 3, Game 2.
Which one was the bad game for the Devils or
Dude,
the
I
good
just
one?
remember it was one of the bad. Which game?
Oh, it was game. That was like game
That was
one.
game
That
one.
was Game 1.
Yeah,
And y'all ever watched Justin Brady watch a Devils game before, man?
many times.
Dude, this man is screaming. This man is screaming in DioGuardi tennis courts. And I remember he tried to prank Daniel. He was like, "Dude, they scored! They scored! They
I
scored,
wasn't
dude."
falling for
and
it.
He didn't fall for it. He was like, "No chance."
He's fought for it before in the past though.
Has he
Yeah,
really?
I know. I learned my lesson. It's
Yeah.
more like, get the puck out. What are you doing?
Yeah, that sounds accurate to me.
Get the puck out! But aside from that, the Devils' season is over, but I'm sure it was still a great season. And now, right now, other than the playoffs, we got Worlds. We got the World Championships going on right now. The IIHF. So I was looking at the rosters and the table for this tournament. I wanted to discuss that first on today's show. We'll get into the NHL later, but I want to talk Worlds for a second because I was looking at some of the rosters. So, do you guys root for the U.S. or do you root for the players that are on the Devils?
The players that are on the Devils, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean, the Devils
I'm the same
have,
way.
The Devils
I'm the same way.
have two players right now playing for Switzerland, Nico
Yeah.
Hischier and Jonas Siegenthaler. So I've been following up with what they're doing. And I think Nico has like a point every game so far
Yeah.
in the tournament so far.
Switzerland's first in the
It's
Group
fun.
B.
Yeah, it's a fun tournament. But did you guys talk about what Joe Veleno did?
No.
Not
yeah,
yet.
that was disgusting.
I watched that live. That was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen on an ice hockey rink, and it's not close. He stomped on. There was a puck battle in the corner, and he straight up lifted his skate and just stomped on the leg of Nino Niederreiter. And it was ugly. The ref didn't even see it, and Niederreiter actually got the only penalty in that sequence because he retaliated with a cross check. Reasonably so. If someone stomps on you, that could like end your career. But then the IIHF did review it after, and they suspended him the rest of the tournament.
Hey,
and,
okay.
and usually when something like that happens, they don't ever end up wearing their country's jersey again. So I would be very shocked if Joe Veleno was wearing a Team Canada crest anytime in their future. But you never know. Hockey Canada doesn't exactly have the greatest standards, as we know.
IIHFW real quick.
Oh yeah.
Need that. But as far as the standings, I was looking at the rosters. So, as a Cats fan, so obviously none of them are playing because the Panthers are still in the playoffs. But they have 3 Finns on their team. Barkov, Luostarinen, and Lundell are all Finns. So it's a fun. I'll watch them if they play. And I even see Uyghur playing on Canada, even though he's not a Florida Panther anymore. I don't love Mackenzie Uyghur. Now, outside of that, most of the team's Canadian. Literally, Bobrovsky's Russian. They got a few American kids on the team, and then a few Canadian kids on the team. And Forsling is Swedish. That's all they got, really. So I'll watch the Finnish team. I'll watch anybody, though. But Group A, headed by the United States of America. They're at the top, 20 points, 34 goals, 8 assists. Sweden, Finland, Germany. Poor Hungary, bro. Poor Hungary and Austria.
I bandwagon Hungary so hard. Their fans are awesome. If you guys got to watch any of the games, they were electric. The singing and dancing like the whole time. They really were awesome. And unfortunately, they weren't able to stay in. They got relegated, but they were able to pull out an overtime win versus France. And I'm not joking when I say that is the craziest I have ever seen a building go for a hockey game. I mean, they were like jumping on each other, bawling their eyes out.
Hey.
It means so much to them because they've only had, I believe it was like their 3rd win in the last 25 years. So could you imagine the Devils only won a
Won
game
3 games.
once every 7 or 8 years? We'd be going pretty crazy when they won. Thank God
Yeah.
that's not the case. I don't think I could watch hockey anymore. But it means a lot to these countries who care a lot about the sport but don't exactly have the talent,
the skill and
the talent that other countries may have. So it's really cool to see upsets like that, even though it was only France. It's not like they played Canada, but it was still really cool. I have to say, this tournament has been going on almost 100 years. This is the first time the U.S. has ever went undefeated through the prelims. A lot of that, for as much as it hurts to say, goes to the play of Nick Bonino and Casey DeSmith, who have been very, very good, even though they're linked to the Penguins, so it pains me a lot to say that. But overall, it's been really fun to watch because there's been some star-studded teams. This is a thing I have paid very close attention to since I became a hockey fan. In 2018, we had guys like Patrick Kane, Quinn Hughes on the team, and they weren't able to get it done. So now you have some lesser guys. TJ Tynan of the Ontario Reign is leading the U.S. in points. He has 10 points in 7 games. He's actually second to Dominik Kubalik on Czechia, who has 11 points in 7 games. There's a lot of NHL talent here. It's pretty fun to watch. Nikolai Ehlers has 9 points in 7 games. JJ Peterka, Mackenzie Weegar, Cutter Gauthier, also Flyers prospect, has been phenomenal. Like he looks like a top flight NHLer right now in that tournament, and it sucks that he's in the Metro division because I could see him becoming a Devils killer, but he's been really good as well. Rudy Balcers, wasn't he on the Panthers at one point?
Rudy Balcers was literally there, I think, this year and got cut.
That's crazy.
He got put on waivers this season, and they kept Eric Stahl.
Well, he scored a big goal, I believe, for Latvia against Switzerland, which hurt me a bit as a Devils fan.
Mackenzie Weegar is 7th in points in this whole thing? No way.
Yeah, he actually, I think he has more than Mikko Rantanen. Yeah, he has one more point than Mikko.
Rantanen's playing for Finland.
It's such a weird tournament because you'll have guys who are like career ECHLers just dominate, and then you'll have guys like, for example, Ovechkin was there a few years ago, and I don't think he was even close to a point per game. He might have had like 3 points in 7
Alex
games
Tuck,
or something like that.
what team is he on again?
He's on the U.S. He's been a...
No, like, which NHL team is he on?
Oh, Buffalo.
Buffalo? Okay. Dude, you got talent all over this thing. You got just this Capo Caco.
Capo Caco. Shout out.
Finland right now. He's got 6 points in 7 games.
Yeah, but I do have to say most of those were against, I believe, France. So Mickey Mouse 6 points for Capo Caco.
Capo Caco can't have anything.
He's a France merchant.
Can't give him
I don't want
credit
to hear
at all.
it.
All right. Yeah, Matt's in the corner. Like
I'm just laughing. You know, I love Capo Caco. Hasn't exactly panned out, as well as I once thought he was going to, but I'm still rooting for him every time he's on the ice. Yeah, I like him better than Lafreniere, even though he was drafted higher. But
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah, we have. It's very strange because normally I'm heavily invested in the U.S. side of things because the Devils have had some players represent them. We had Luke Hughes last year. A few years back, we had Jack Hughes there. He's
rooting for the Swiss.
We've had Blake Coleman, Will Butcher, Keith Kincaid, Matt Tennyson. But in the past, there's always been at least 1 or 2 Devils on the American squad. And this year, that's not the case, so I am fully bandwagoning Team Switzerland. And it's kind of funny because I've watched every Switzerland game, and Nico Hischier is playing the way you'd think someone who's angry they got eliminated from the playoffs would play. I mean, he's had a little nasty side to his game, and he's sticking up for himself when he needs to, and you could tell it means a lot to him. The emotion Nico is showing in this tournament is just as much, if not more, emotion than he showed the entire season. And that's not saying he was a bad captain. He was great for us. He was a huge leader for the Devils. But this means a lot. Switzerland's never won a gold medal in their history. They got their hearts broken in 2019. They were 1.4 seconds away from making it to the semifinal, and Damon Severson scored for Canada. To tie it and send it into overtime. Mark Stone scored in the overtime and broke Switzerland's hearts. So Switzerland's had a chip on their shoulder since then. That was the same game that Veleno did that absolutely disgusting move that should never be seen on an ice rink again. Canada-Switzerland is a huge rivalry, and it wouldn't surprise me if they met again in an elimination game. That is certainly a game to watch. I don't remember who was on Canada, but someone like shoved Nico after the whistle, and Nico was mad, and he went right at him and cross-checked him back. And there's a lot of heart, a lot of emotion. Latvia against Switzerland yesterday, that crowd was nuts. I'm trying to pull it up on my phone. They had like a whole fan zone because they literally couldn't fit all their fans in the arena.
Bro.
And it literally was insane. Like, this is like, it looked like Maple Leaf Square, but it's all for a country so it's even crazier. Honestly, there might have even been more people in Maple Leaf Square. I'm gonna find it, and I'll show it to you guys. But it's really cool. It means so much to these people, all the crowds really, the atmosphere. I mean, Switzerland Latvia yesterday. Gord Miller, he was doing the play-by-play for that game. He's announced Stanley Cup games in the past and tons of NHL playoff games, and he said, "This is one of the loudest arenas I've ever been in. I can't even hear myself think," which is just absurd. So it's
International play always goes harder than like domestic play. It really does. Always does.
it does. I mean, I could confirm. You guys know I went to the World Baseball Classic, and that was just absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
To see Marlins Park
Lone
actually
Depot
have
Park,
fans.
baby.
It's
One day.
It's a really cool thing. So we got some good matchups.
Yeah, quarterfinals are already set right now. You got U.S. Czechia, and you got Switzerland Germany, Canada Finland, Sweden Latvia.
I
think Canada Finland is a cool game.
That's gonna be a really good game. That was the gold medal game last year.
Hey, okay.
Finland won in overtime. So hopefully Capo is like a -9 with 18 turnovers.
Let's not wish hate on Capo Caco.
Well, one thing. Last year, was Barkov on that Finn team last year?
I believe so.
So they're missing big pieces right now.
They are.
Because the Florida Panthers are still in the playoffs, baby!
Also, it's very odd that I think it speaks to the greatness of Connor Bedard that he quite literally is not playing in this tournament because he needs to be protected from injury. Meanwhile, guys who have played in this tournament when they were young, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid. Connor Bedard is not going because he needs to be protected. That just speaks to the level. I mean, Ovechkin played in it in the prime of his career 3 years ago. Malkin's played in it. Some seriously highly regarded guys. Jack Hughes did it. Luke Hughes did it. But Connor Bedard cannot be hurt before the NHL draft. So
Special man right there. Special man.
He's smart.
It's smart, I agree, but he's basically the only player ever who's that highly regarded to turn down an invitation to show up on this stage. And honestly, I don't think he has anything left to prove. Look at what he did in World Juniors. Look at what he did in his junior league. I mean, he's going to be absolutely insane, and he's a Chicago Blackhawk, so
He's a Chicago Blackhawk.
What? I don't get that. I think it's rigged. I think it's so rigged. I don't know if you guys talked about it last week. I'm sure you did.
Go right into it, yeah.
I think it's so rigged. Why does Chicago have to get him? They were good for so many years. Let their fans be miserable now.
Let them be trash.
If he went to Anaheim, I think Anaheim would have been a playoff team next season because they have all this young talent like Zegras, Drysdale, how do you pronounce it? McTavish? McTavish, yeah. And then just add Bedard into that mix. That would be crazy. And you would have you'd be set up perfectly for your future with that good core four.
But
and then
Chicago.
No, he has to go to Chicago.
they didn't even get 1 year without Patrick Kane. They got a few weeks basically.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if Patty Kane went back now to Chicago.
Nah, it's not happening.
You know what? I think he might go to Florida. That's my prediction.
Dude, we're just like how Yager came to Florida.
Yeah, he got
like
traded
how
from the
Joe
Devils.
Thornton came to Florida,
Jaromir Jagr is still currently playing hockey.
which is wild. He started
Yeah.
playing in 1990. That's 12 years before I was born.
I know.
He
It's crazy.
he
I'm 20
played
years old.
Jaromir Jagr played the tournament we are talking about right now. Jaromir Jagr played in the 1989 World Championships. And he is still playing hockey. He has 14 points in 26 games in the top Czech league right now.
Dude, his kids must be like, so when do you want to spend time with us?
He might be the first grandfather to ever be a professional athlete. I'm gonna need a stat check on that, but
I forget which team it was. Some team, I forget it was the 80s or the 90s. They had the dad and his 2 kids on the team. It was an NHL team. Which team was that, bro? Dude, it was a dad, right? And he was in his probably 40 older seasons, 39, 40, and his 2 kids were on the team, or at
That's
least one of his sons
ridiculous.
were on the team with him. Just like how Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. were on the same team at once. I forget which team that was, which NHL family that was, but
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, some people just don't age. It's crazy. Like you see people coming out of the league at 30, and then here's Yager who's like 52 now, and he's still going strong. Like, wow. But yeah, lot of cool storylines.
Was it
Go for it.
Peter Stasny
Possibly.
and his two sons Paul and Yan?
What team was it?
I'm taking a look now. Do my research. Let's see. I mean, yeah. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Well, I'm still looking at the rosters of the IIHF. There's so many NHLers, and I don't think. I wish it was talked about more because
Oh, Gordie Howe played with his sons with the
Really?
Hartford Whalers. That's what it was.
That's
that's not
insane.
surprising
Wha-
because
what,
he
and-
played forever.
That they put in that little shopping mall
It
of an
was
arena.
both of his
The
sons.
American Dream.
Gordie Howe played with his sons Mark and Marty for one season with the Hartford Whalers.
Yeah, that's insane. That's what's gonna happen with LeBron and Bronny in the NBA. And not this year, the next year in
It's gonna
2024.
happen with Chase for 28 when Daniel's going for his like PhD. He's going for your 7th doctorate.
Hey, and anything to keep the intramural sports
Yeah, you gotta
teams
keep,
alive.
you gotta keep it going.
Gotta keep it going.
But so the World Championships, all the quarterfinal games are tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, who we pulling for, huh? Who we
Okay,
pulling
so
for?
we got USA Czechia. For as much as this hurts to say, I think the Czechs are the more experienced team. They've had a tough tournament thus far, but they have a lot of talent. I think the Czechs are going to upset the Americans here because the Americans have done this so many times. And of course, I had to get emotionally attached to this tournament, so I pay close attention to them every year. And that no matter how great the U.S. does in the prelims, they can't do anything in an elimination game. The first tournament I ever watched was the 2018 tournament. U.S. was playing Sweden in the quarters on my birthday. I woke up at 9 a.m. and I was like, okay, like I'm going to get a nice birthday present. The U.S. is going to win. My guy Keith Kincaid's in net. We got Will Butcher and Blake Coleman. Yeah, Keith Kincaid gave up like 5 goals in the first period, and the U.S. lost 6-1, I believe. So it's a common theme. They've had some star-studded talent, like I said, Patrick Kane, Quinn Hughes, Tage Thompson. Almost any high-level American player has played at least 1 year, if not multiple, for this team at some point when their team was not in the playoffs. And the U.S. just doesn't normally get it done. So I don't know about you guys, but I would like the U.S. to win. I think they're going to get upset by the Czechs.
I'll go with the U.S. on this one. They're undefeated. I'm gonna keep rolling. When you're hot, you're hot.
Fair.
You're hot. This U.S. team, coached by David Quinn, I believe, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah, I'm even thinking some memories of him. So I could definitely see them going down in this first elimination game. But I'm still gonna ride with them. I think they'll get it done this time.
Going USA.
I know
Switzerland,
Justin's Canadian roots are waiting to come out here.
Switzerland,
It's
Germany.
waiting, dude.
Give me Switzerland, bro.
Switzerland.
Germany is not a good team. Their best player is Moritz Seider, who is way overrated.
He's
in
a
my
bust.
opinion.
Psych,
He-
he thought.
He's a bust.
Nah,
he was a Calder winner last year, right?
He fell off hard.
He's so overrated though. I remember fans were saying that he was the best player like in his draft and like way better than Jack Hughes and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
now they're all like, that's like ridiculous. He's a great defenseman and will be probably like maybe like a top 15 defenseman in the league going forward. But I mean, people were calling him one of the best defensemen in the league at one point. At least
Yeah.
Red Wings fans. So I mean, I feel like that's kind of crazy to say.
His point total was like around on par with Damon Severson this year. Like,
Yeah, no, it's
like-
nothing to gloat about.
no shade to Sivo, but when we're talking about the best player in the draft class, come on, let's cool
Come
it a
on.
bit. So the Switzerland's gonna win that game easily. The only reason they lost against Latvia is because they benched Nino Niederreiter, Nico Hischier, and someone else. It might have been Dennis Malgin for rest because they knew the game. They knew they'd finish in first no matter what. So obviously you don't want your top players to get hurt. Also, Jonas Siegenthaler has been a dog the whole tournament. He's like playing 25 minutes at least every game, and He's so good on the penalty kill. Really, all aspects. I mean, he's just shutting guys down. He shuts guys down in the NHL. So then when you have these lesser countries, guys who are like AHLers, ECHLers, Jonas Siegenthaler is just no match. He's been throwing the body around. He's been great. And he even scored a goal in their first game. So Switzerland's winning that game by at least 2 goals, probably 3 or 4.
Around the board,
I agree. Nothing wrong with that.
Give me Swiss.
give me Swiss. Canada, Finland, Justin, you start.
Canada, because Canada is the best hockey country in the whole world. Canada's above anything else. Give me Canada to go all the way. And they're going to do it without Bedard.
All right, Mr. Tim Hortons.
So, Daniel, now do you agree with Canada winning this game?
Oh, I think Canada is because Finland. All right. I think Canada is, but it's going to be a close game. I just think Finland really doesn't have the star talent like Barkov that they've had in years past.
You know why? Because they're still in the playoffs.
What a world where sorry Finland, the Florida Panthers are the reason that
Dude, I
you're
think
not going all the way.
Would Lindell be on that team too?
Probably.
Yeah, he was last year.
Would Luis Arena be on that team too?
He might have been. I don't think he was last year, but
they're missing a whole line right now.
yeah, I mean, Mikko Rantanen doesn't have a goal yet. This is a guy who scored,
This is a guy
I believe, at least 50 goals this season in the NHL.
All-Star team, like at least once in his career.
Yeah, he doesn't have a goal in 7 games, and he's played some bad teams like France, Slovenia, I believe. Like you gotta find the back. He does have 8 assists. But you got to find the back of the net at some point because Finland lost, I believe, 3 games in those prelims, and that is not good enough for a country that's used to winning gold basically every year. They only have 5 NHLers on the team: Mikko Rantanen, Capo Kakko, Kasperi Kapanen, Ali Mata, and Joel Armia. So they're definitely hurting a bit. No shade to the Finns. This is the only time I'm ever going to have the chance to talk about him. So I want to talk about Marko Anttila on the Finnish team. He will never be an NHLer. He's how old now? 37 years old. This guy is a legend in the international hockey world. He was drafted by the Blackhawks in 2004 in the 9th round. Never had a shot to make it in the NHL, so he never even signed there. This is a guy who is scoring about maybe 10 points a season in the KHL and the highest Finnish league. And all of a sudden, he's so good defensively, and he's a big guy. He's 6'8".
Chara Jr., bro.
And the only difference is he's a right wing, so he's a forward at 6'8". And this guy just scores goals for Finland at the biggest moments. He has probably not one good bone of hockey in him. Like, he's not good. You watch him, he's extremely slow. He doesn't have hands. The only thing he's good at is hitting. And he's like the Curtis Gabriel of Russian hockey or Finnish hockey. And he just weirdly enough scores the biggest goals at the biggest times. He did it in the gold medal game in 2019 against Canada. He scored a big goal there. It seems like every world championship he scores goals. He's done it. He has, I believe, 10 goals in world championships in his career. He has maybe in total like 40 over his entire career, which is like 16 years now. He has never scored more than 20 points in a professional season, which was in 2014 in the SHL in Sweden. So this guy is just flat out not good at hockey, but the most clutch player you will ever see. And it's funny that they literally call him a legend there. Like they talk about him in Finland the way we talk about, the way Kings fans talk about Alec Martinez, who is nothing special but scored a goal to win the Stanley Cup at one point, and that's all that matters. So
I got you.
I had to take this opportunity because Marko Anttila is a legend in the hockey world for scoring the most clutch goals at random points, but never came anywhere close to touching an NHL team. He'd probably be like a -70 if he ever played in an NHL season. So he He's one of the most popular guys in Finland too. If you look at his Instagram, like they love him, they adore him because he's won them gold medals before. Not because he's good, probably because he's lucky. But sometimes that's all that matters. So
Well, hit him up for breaking the street next season. You know, we could use that. We need that clutch gene. But what are these two laughing at, bro? What are these two laughing at?
how insane Marco Antola's career totals are.
Well, let's hear about it.
This guy, he had 58 games for Karpat and Liga. He had 4 assists as a forward starting every game. I mean that's just absurd. The season before that in Liga, he had 3 points. Same season, he actually got traded 40 games for Jokerit in the KHL. He had 11 points, which is like good for him. Season before that, 14 points. I mean, this guy just he's like playing every game too. he just, but for whatever reason, last year World Championship, 5 points in 10 games. Like he just shows up when it matters. This year so far, 3 points in 7 games, 2 of them goals. So he can't find the back of the net for whatever reason, but when it matters, he finds a way to. So it's really crazy. It's like I'm trying to who's like a random player from the Devils who like is so bad and got like put on waivers like instantly. Like I'm just trying to think of a good comparison.
Gusev.
No, not even because Gusev like tore up the KHL. Gusev was like KHL MVP. This guy is like 4th liner for the KHL.
Really? I
Brett-
don't even know.
Brett Sini.
He played a little bit in the NHL.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like that's if like Brett. This is the Finnish comparison to if Brett Sini played an entire season with the Devils and then in the Stanley Cup playoffs just decided to like
He got
score
someone?
every clutch goal.
You got someone or no?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Rod Pelly if you know who that is.
I do not.
You do not. Uncultured, Daniel.
Fake Devils
Disappointed.
fan.
Ooh, man. All right, you know what?
Curtis Gabriel. That's
Yeah.
If you
that's a good one.
watch Marco Antola skate, size and skating, he's literally the exact same as Curtis Gabriel.
Yeah, probably.
That's a direct equivalent.
That's good. Oh my god.
So, who's winning this game, though? Canada or Finland?
You know my answer.
I'm gonna go with Canada though. I hope they lose and get some bad karma from the Joe Veleno thing. And the fact that he didn't even release a statement for it is atrocious. But Canada really doesn't impress me. I mean, Tyler Toffoli has probably been their quote unquote best player, but I wouldn't say he's been great in any stretch. He's definitely had some trouble finding the back of the net. The Canadians have had a goaltender problem. Sam Montembeault has been their best goaltender,
You're
but
lying. That guy? Habs goaltender?
Yep.
The Cats third stringer before?
but he hasn't been great. They've had Joel Hofer there, who got embarrassed in a shootout against Norway. Norway scored all four times in the shootout against Joel Hofer for Canada. I mean,
Incredible.
This Norway, they have maybe one NHLer in the entire league. Norway is just they're not a big hockey squad in any stretch of the imagination.
Matt Zuccarello. That's the guy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Norway's guy.
Yep.
So,
Canada, they have every single player on their roster is in the NHL except Adam Fantilli, who is going to be a very good NHLer. I expect more from them. The fact that they lost to Norway is absurd, and they really haven't been pulling away from any games. I mean, Switzerland dominated play basically the entire game. So, I don't know. I expect more from Team Canada. Just a lot of big names here. Even Adam Fantilli, 2 points in 7 games. Marco Antola, the Finnish legend, has more points than Adam Fantilli. Mackenzie Weegar is leading them with 9 points in 7 games. Aside from that, nobody has more than 5 points in those 7 games. And like I said, that's with some games against some pretty bad countries. No offense to them. Love you, Hungary. I bandwagoned you very strongly. It just didn't work out.
So Canada is your choice, though?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Canada, but I expect more from them if they want to do well.
Matt Vitale.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Finland. A couple of reasons. First, we're getting revenge, Joe Veleno for Canada. We want him out of the tournament. And also Capo Caco, of course, on Finland. Of course, I was going to have him winning. Prediction, game-winning goal, Capo Caco. Lock it in. Lock it in.
That was
Lock
good.
it in.
I was just going to say, I genuinely think that Capo Caco is going to score a huge goal for Finland in one of these elimination games.
I wouldn't be
think
surprised.
He's been snake bitten so far this tournament. He's played really well the games I've watched, and obviously as a Devils fan, I don't love to give Capo Caco his praise, but I really do think that at some point it's going to fall for him. He's already dealt with so much. He's basically being labeled the bust everywhere. That tough Game 7 defeat against the New Jersey Devils, he needs something to fall for him at some point, and
he's not a bust.
I don't think he is either.
He's not a bust. He could be a solid player if I mean, he's not bad just for a number 2 pick. Yeah. Didn't live up to his standard.
It's like
But-
Michael McLeod.
But I mean, he's a good third liner probably for any team in the
Yeah.
NHL, I'd be honest.
His play on the puck is great. He just hasn't put it all together. He's still very young, obviously. I think Rangers fans just need to get the whole second overall pick thing out of their head. I think they dug a big grave for themselves, because for how long they were saying Kako over Hughes, and now they're like, oh wait. And look at us with Mikey McLeod. I mean, there were people who wanted him put on waivers, just basically shipped off to the Guangdong Tigers.
The Guangdong Tigers.
And once Devils fans got over the fact that, yes, he was a first-round pick and he didn't pan out exactly that way, now he's like a fan favorite again. So I think once Rangers fans could push that to the side, I think that he'll be much more accepted there, and I think that'll allow him to thrive. Look at guys like Jesperi Kotkaniemi, who did not thrive well aside from his first season for Montreal, and they basically pushed him out of there. They didn't give him a chance to develop.
Carolina.
Now he goes to Carolina, sticking to his strong suits, killing the New Jersey Devils. Overall, just good. I don't know. I don't think he's a bust. There's no way you can say Capo Caco is a bust. I want to feel bad for the guy in a sense. It's just very hard to when I had Rangers fans trying to say Caco was better in my direct messages for a full year, even 2 years. So it's hard to give him too much praise, but he could still be a very important asset to a team.
Yeah, I remember that was big, when the Devils drafted Jack Hughes and all the Rangers fans were going crazy. I just want to put it on the record, I was not one of those guys. I had
Thank you.
Jack Hughes over Capo, but if just for his game, that third line, they got the kids line, it was working in the playoffs.
Kid line.
Yeah, but
Dude, we got Summer Tanner right here. I'm telling you, Summer Tanner. They're sitting in the same same mic.
You get Tanner in the summer, so it makes sense.
Dude, you're sitting in the same mic, and dude, this Matt,
We just need him to
Summer Tanner.
we just need him to start throwing the arms up like the blue shirts.
Anyway, continue your thought that I interrupted.
I was saying last week that I want the Rangers we're done with getting guys at the trade deadline, trying to insert them into the lineup at the end and have them carry us instead of the kids. I say we live and die by the kids and let them try to develop. If not, we'll figure it out. But I think at this point, just having them down on the third line, we'll never know what they could really do. So I'm hoping that the new coaching staff comes in and gives those guys, Capo, Filipino, and Lafreniere, more of a chance.
So,
There's one more game, right?
So one more, I'm going with the Finns too. I'm rocking with the Finns because this team is not at full strength. It might not be as easy to game plan, even though they've seen them. I have faith, and as you said, the Canada team's underwhelming. They should do better. They should be doing better, but they're not. And now that leads us to the last game: Sweden, Latvia. I'm rocking with the Swedish team.
Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, I can't lie. I'm pretty attached to Latvia right now, even though they beat my Swiss team. Hurt a bit, but the Latvia fans are awesome. I mean, they were electric yesterday, and they had the home ice advantage too. Obviously they can't see it on the radio, but I'm gonna show everyone here. This was when Latvia beat Switzerland.
If only we had video,
That's
man.
actually crazy.
Outside
That's
of the
mass.
arena.
That's bigger than Maple Leaf
I
Square.
know. I'll show Matt too.
So like,
That's
wow, look,
absurd,
that-
right?
they're going
And
crazy.
Now I will show Connor. It's way bigger.
so basically, oh my goodness,
Way bigger than Maple Leaf Square. Like
Latvia Square.
you basically have like a whole country showing up, and
Mhm.
they don't really have much of a chance. But it's so cool to see stuff like that because, I mean,
Here in
that's
America, we
what's
just be like, oh, our team's losing, go home. They're so bad. Rant on Twitter.
it,
That's
it-
literally the.
yeah.
Dude, everyone here is not a good sports fan. Everyone just loves to hate more than love. Like those fans.
That's the thing. They
love
stick
to
with
love,
them,
yeah.
like the Hungarian fans. Like they're not. They know they're gonna lose, and they still show up with the face paint and the flags because they know that there's just a slight 5% chance that there's some way they could pull it off.
And they
And
did.
that's what they did against France, and they went nuts. And obviously they couldn't beat the bigger countries, but they still showed out in full force. I could compare it to the World Baseball Classic. Taiwan was down like 10 runs in the 8th, and Yu Chang hits a solo home run, and these fans are acting like they won the World Series because it means a lot to them. It's that's the country they're rooting for. They stick with them. They know they're at a deficit because they're a smaller country or don't have the talent or whatever, but they're not just gonna give up on it and flip to watching SpongeBob SquarePants. They're gonna
yeah.
they're gonna stick with them, and that's something I saw.
Or as AJ
personally-
would say, flip to the Mets game.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it, but I will save my choice words for next week.
Save my choice.
I
I'm
thought
gonna just
I
spam
thought this
dump
was
button.
I thought this was happening this week.
See, AJ, it was, but then AJ gets a 102 degree
He
fever.
conveniently got sick.
AJ
Uh,
got sick on purpose. He was scared of the smoke.
It's never gonna happen. I don't think.
He was scared of the smoke.
He's gonna run off into the darkness of Pittsburgh.
Now, the darkness of Pittsburgh. Well, I mean, they just did clean the whole organization pretty much, right? Like,
Basically.
GM. Kyle Dubas got fired.
He got interviewed by Pittsburgh.
Hey. So,
Or he is going
how
to.
do we feel about that one now? I know we're switching to the NHL here. And, so, is it on him? Is it really on Kyle Dubas?
No, it's
No,
not. It's on the
no.
players.
They needed a
because-
scapegoat.
No, it's absolute joke that core four could not. We have Austin Matthews, William Nylander,
Mitch
John
Marner,
Tavares,
John Tavares.
and Mitch Marner, and you could even add, if you want to say core five, Morgan Riley into that.
Okay.
The fact that team cannot get past the second
They
round,
can't get past Panther, bro.
I just think it's a total joke, and I mean something needed to change. The thing is, how are you gonna trade these guys? You got Austin Matthews; he's got 1 year left on his contract, and it's honestly possible he leaves after this season. After next season, John Tavares, nobody wants his contract. Mitch Marner just got an extension, like 2-3 years ago, and
Yeah,
then
something like that.
William Nylander, I think, was the same. So I mean, it's hard to really move these guys, but if these guys are playing like this and they can't even get to the Eastern Conference Finals or Stanley Cup Final, obviously it's not working. I think you just blow it up, possibly, or change
Well,
some GM.
My man, editor in Leaf. You know,
That was the worst take I've ever seen.
dude,
Maybe ever.
He does that all the time, bro. Editor in Leaf is like elite for just reading through.
Do you remember what the take was?
Yeah, it was. I could just look through real quick. So let's read off some editor in Leaf tweets, guys. Here's one right here. Actually, that's the wrong thing there. Okay, so let's find some editor in Leaf tweets real quick, and then I'll just there's a lot of here's one. Florida was outplayed in 4 of 5 games by the Leafs, and outplayed by Boston in the majority of their games. They just got really lucky.
Yeah, okay.
So copying them is a horrible idea. Let's read another one from my man. The Panthers are a horrible example of how to run a team. They won the luckiest Game 7 in history, and then their goalie went on a heater. So,
Yep, that's lucky. That's lucky. Sure.
there's so many more, though. I could just... If I scroll down, like, all the good... There's a bunch... Oh, here's another one here. This was from May 7th. That's enough for me tonight, but I think the Leafs will come back. I believe in this team. There's about a 1 out of 200 chance, and that's all they need. It's a ton. Like, there's just, like, endless... It's endless cold takes from this man. I don't know who runs the account, or like you know what I mean. Like, I don't know who's
Yeah.
behind the mask, but I'd love to have the guy on the show.
I
Here's
just
another.
don't.
Oh, here's a great one. You might think John Tavares is overpaid, right?
Yeah.
But if you average out the salaries of him and Mark Giordano, the Leafs have 2 Hall of Fame superstars making just $6 million each.
That's such a biased take right there. That's crazy.
And then the guy underneath that tweet comments, "That's not how anybody looks at that."
Yeah, I agree. No, not at all.
I think Leafs fans are so like disgruntled at this point. Like they're just saying words to say words. Like it's really bad. That is probably one of the most toxic well, I guess you can't even call it American
No,
sports.
not
'cause
even.
it's Canada, but just in North American sports, it's probably one of the most toxic fan bases I've seen. And not justifying that. That's just bad take. Period. But to an extent, it's justified. They're frustrated that they just keep getting bounced no matter what happens.
Oh, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
And to play devil's advocate,
Here's another one if you guys want. You keep going.
if the Devils were in that position, I'd be pretty salty too. So I feel bad for them to an extent, but they're such sore losers.
Don't
about
feel
it.
bad
Like,
for them.
Like if that's the case, you get off social media, stop engaging, and just worry about yourself. Go touch some grass, as
Mhm.
people would say.
This one's from last year. The Islanders clearly need to rebuild. The Leafs need a goalie. Ilya Sorokin should be their main offseason target.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the-
Sorokin's getting traded to the Leafs.
That's like me saying like, oh yeah, like this offseason the Devils should trade for Connor McDavid.
I mean, they should. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I got one more for you. This is about Florida last year as well. Even adding Claude Giroux, the Leafs have way better forwards. And you're ignoring that the Leafs added the best defenseman of anyone at the trade deadline.
Who they add the trade deadline
Last year?
Yeah,
Was it Giordano?
there's no way
No.
he means that.
Who
Huh.
was it? Who they trade for last year out of the D-man spot?
Well, I think it was Giordano.
I think it was. Yeah.
Well, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, if this was like 10 years ago, sure.
That I mean, I can't even laugh. I thought PK Subban was gonna win the Devils a Stanley Cup, but those takes are horrendous. That's like me saying, "Oh yeah, like Team Hungary should trade for Capo Caco." Like it's just
Yeah.
not how it works.
That's editor and Leaf for you.
Can you imagine if international teams could trade? Like
I gotta find another one, but you keep going.
that would be nuts.
If international teams could trade,
Yeah,
Wild.
like Connor Bedard has been traded to Germany for like Moritz Seider, JJ Peterkin, I don't know. That would be. Could you imagine like Sidney Crosby playing with Jack Hughes for like an American Olympic team? Like the possibility.
That'd be funny.
You could come up with some pretty strange scenarios for comedic purposes. I would love Sidney Crosby to play with Jack Hughes, just to hear AJ whine about
Oh
it
my
forever. But yeah,
I got one more right
Let's hear
here.
it.
So this was last year at the trade deadline, right? Or this is when Ekblad got hurt. And this one, Jameson Olive, who is one of the Cats beat writers, he was listing the D pairs. It was Forsling and Uyghur. You had Montour and Gudis, and I believe the third line was like Robert Hagg, and then you had Lucas Carlson. You had Ben Sherrod out there too, right? And editor in Leaf says, for a top team that is bizarrely horrible, it's arguably the worst blue line in hockey, including Arizona.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yo, so editor in Leaf, we'd like to have you on the show. We'd
Hmm.
like to have you on the show. This man-
I might have more beef with Editor and Leaf than AJ, and that's saying something.
So we got 1 minute left here. But this has been a phenomenal first hour. We didn't even talk about the playoffs yet.
I know.
That's called.
That's for last.
So last thing. Who's winning the IHF Worlds?
Canada.
I want to say Switzerland. They've never won gold
I'm gonna
before.
go with Switzerland as well.
In the 90-plus year history of the tournament, they have played very well. I think if they get they just got to win 3 games. That's it. And their first is basically a lock, so they got to win 2. If Switzerland gets upset, I might like eat a shoe or something on breaking the ice.
Last one.
No,
Matt,
no
who's
one
winning?
clipped that.
Yeah, this is what I wanted. I want to see a U.S. Finland final.
Okay.
I would.
that's what I wanna
That would
see.
be
I
entertaining.
think that'd be fun. And then I would still, even though Capo Caco, I'm still gonna have to go USA. Just
So to go with the Americans.
I will. I
That
will
makes
have to.
sense here. So we're going to take a quick break here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. And when we come back, we'll get right into the Eastern and Western Conference Finals because they're both getting wrapped up real soon. So stay tuned, everybody. We are back here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is Breaking the Ice, hour number 2. I'm your host, Connor Cupin. We got Justin Brady, Daniel Lamoya, Matt Vitale in the building. Now we actually get to talk about the NHL. Everybody, let's give it a clap real quick. And do you know who we're going to give another clap to?
The Florida,
Florida
Panthers.
Panthers. I've never enjoyed a season more in my entire life. Not the whole season, but the playoffs. A season last year.
And that's crazy because you played on Breaking the Street.
That's literally the case right there, right? And like, and Chase for 28, but they're up 3-0 right now on the Carolina Hurricanes. Which, as Devils fans, you know we're getting the revenge for you guys.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
It's Kane's elimination today. Today
Oh, yeah.
is Kane's elimination.
It's such a great day.
It's a great day.
It's a great day to be alive.
24th, 2023. We're going to just jump right into it, man. We're going game by game of this series. Let's just bring it all. Let's go to the Western Conference 2 we'll cover. Game 1 of the 2023 Eastern Conference Finals. Who stayed up?
I stayed
I
up
didn't.
for the whole thing.
I did.
You stayed up for the whole thing?
You didn't stay up?
I was
He
so
could- he
tired.
couldn't make
I was
it.
so tired.
Couldn't make it.
I had work that day too, so like I got second OT. Second OT.
No, so I got like back home around like whatever it was 1 a.m. And it was like the third overtime. So I was like, no, what? I'll just throw it on. And then at that point, I was like, no, what? I have to see the ending now.
Dude, I
There's
was
no
so
way I'm
tired
turning
I
this-
couldn't.
Dude, it was just absolutely insane. Like the players were just totally
I'm just
gassed.
watching Sergei Bobrovsky. You ever seen a
He was
team
great.
win an overtime game 4-2, bro? This was that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky after the third overtime, he was like, I want this game to be over. and then like luckily Matthew Tkachuk ended it with like 12 seconds left. And I loved what he did after he scored. It wasn't like,
that was amazing.
I think
Yeah.
it was just like, guys, let's just get the heck out of here. We're dipping. We don't even care. And then he did the same thing in the game too. But Sergei Bobrovsky was awesome in that overtime. Bill and
The
Freddie.
greatest goaltender performance I've ever seen with the red and yellow jersey on, bro. Like the red and gold jersey has never been worn better than Game 1 Sergei Bobrovsky.
63 for 65.
63 save performance. Now this game, so I was watching it when it started, of course. You know, Seth Jarvis scored like at the very end of the first period, or was it? I think it was the very, very end of the first period. He scored that first power play goal,
Mm-hmm.
and then second period, Barkov scored nasty wrist shot, literally nasty. Okay, so Seth Jarvis scored his goal on a 5-on-3. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
congratulations, Carolina. Such skill.
Both of their goals were on the power play.
Yeah, but 5-on-3, like, okay, you know, you guys worked so hard for that goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Barkov, Duclair hit him with a 360 pass, and then Barkov wrist shot bucket. 2 minutes later, Verhaeghe hit this one-timer that was sick into the back of the net. What's being passed around here?
Some graphics.
the graphic of the Florida Panthers.
I
Kind of.
Their graphics are so good, bro.
Oh, on the
Yeah.
Twitter?
Yeah.
Let me
Dude,
see which one.
Their graphics are so good.
I
Oh,
heard somebody on Twitter say that
Oh,
they're
no.
getting worse and worse as they're going down in the series. Like the quality of them are getting worse and worse.
Yeah, they
until
are.
They're gonna get eliminated.
Dude, no,
Well,
so, like...
I want to see what they post when they get eliminated.
No, the Canes
Hurricanes.
graphics, the Cats
Oh,
graphics are
Hurricanes,
the guy does work. Whoever does the graphics for the Twitter and the Instagram, he does work. But third period, Stefan Nosen, they tied the game up, power play again, and okay, overtime. They played 2 games. Literally played 2 games.
They
and a
played
fourth
played
and a-
more. Yeah, they played
2 games and another period.
Yep.
So I remember second OT, Sergei Bobrovsky, the goaltenders were crazy. First off, Ryan Lomberg won the game in overtime 1. And they called it back for goaltender interference because Colin White, I don't know, with that one it was like really odd.
It was borderline.
Because Colin White, like, yes, he makes contact with Freddie Anderson, but he couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I forget who was the defenseman. Brent Drury. What's his first name? On Carolina.
Brandon.
No, Jack Drury, the centerman. He like pushes.
Oh no, I'm thinking of
You think
yeah,
he's
I was like,
thinking of the
San Diego Padres legend.
Brent Drury.
Mets legend
Jack
Brandon
Drury.
Drury.
He's like wedging. He's wedging Colin White in between Anderson and himself, and then that allows Ryan Lomberg to get the open goal. But they called it back. They called it back.
If it were me calling it, I would have called it a goal. But I think since by rule he did make contact with the goaltender, if that did get called the goal, I think there would have been like riots from Carolina
Well,
fans.
they lost anyways.
I think NHL kind of had their hands tied. It was a tough call. It was very borderline. Either way,
The
one
minute
fan base
that
wasn't going to
happened-
be happy.
the minute that happened, the Cats had to win that game, bro. Because if they
Yeah,
lost, dude, oh my
I think
God.
if they had lost that game, I think Carolina would be up 3-0 in the series right now.
I don't disagree.
I think that game changes everything because then you go into next game either feeling amazing with a lot of confidence or going into next game like
I played 7 periods.
play
to
7
lose.
periods just no, but you're right though. That's like
Yeah.
how you would feel. You put all that effort just for nothing, and I mean, a lot of Carolina fans stuck out for that, but you could tell they were all just so tired and like just wanted to go home after it got to a certain point. They were all just dead. That game ended about around 2 a.m.
Dude, it was 2. Yeah, you want to hear some stats from? You go first.
Yeah, I want to say after the 6th period, the 3rd overtime, the PA announcer said, "We
Oh,
are now
yeah.
headed to the 6th intermission. I am so sorry."
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna give you guys some stats because like, fantastic statistics here about this game. So, first off, Sergei Bobrovsky won his 14th playoff game. That was like I think that's the most in Panthers history. Most playoff wins from a goaltender in franchise history in that game. And so let's just roll through all the crazy stats that were broken. Cause you had, let's see, one thing here. 50 save outing for Bobrovsky, whatever. It was the 6th longest game in NHL history. 6th longest.
Mm-hmm.
With the longest game being in 1936, 2nd longest being in 1933. So we have no idea, right?
Yep.
Since then, there have been 4 games. Who remembers game 1 of Lightning Blue Jackets?
Oh yeah,
3 years
that
ago.
was
Yup.
that was an amazing game.
That was, I believe, 5 overtimes.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that was a game 1, right?
Yeah, it was game 1.
So we can compare that series to this series. The team that won game 1 in that long overtime
Yeah.
went on to sweep the other
Yeah,
team.
yeah, yeah.
So I really think it makes a difference that the Panthers won that game. I think it changed everything. Game momentum going to games 2, 3, and forward.
The Panthers became the 3rd team in NHL history to win each of their first 5 games, overtime games. And then they won the 6th one after that.
Mm-hmm.
So Matthew Tkachuk scored his 3rd overtime goal of the playoffs, which is, I believe, the most by any skater in a playoff year in NHL history, I think. And the most time on an ice in the playoffs, Brandon Montour skated for 57 minutes
That's insane.
in that game.
He's been a warrior and he's
Yeah.
had his best season this year. I've always knew he was a player when he was with Buffalo. I felt like he always had the potential to be a good
Traded the 3rd
top
for him.
top pairing
Yeah.
defenseman for any team, and now he's really showing it. He's awesome.
How's that for a trade, bro? 3rd round pick for Montour.
It's an absolute steal. And
Bill
thinking about now,
Zito!
Matthew Tkachuk, if the Cats win a cup, that's gonna go
Did
down.
they already win the trade? Yeah.
Oh no, I know, but
If they won the cup, they
I
win the trade
think it's the
ASAP.
biggest fleece in NHL history if they win a cup.
And the fact that when it happened, everyone was saying it was the biggest fleece in NHL history.
For
The other way
Flames, yeah.
around.
Yep.
I said it.
Bill
On,
Zito moment, man.
I said it before. That's the biggest 180 I've seen from the public on any sports take ever.
But Montour, that's the 10th most ice time since '98.
Jesus.
Number 1 being Seth Jones in that same Blue Jackets Lightning game.
What was that, like
65
62?
minutes.
Okay. That's unreal.
the longest road win streak. The Panthers have 7 in a row, and then it became 8 when they won the next one. Let's see what else there's a ton. There's just a ton of stuff that they, because like it's a history night. You know what I'm saying?
It
that
sounds
was
like
a
the
night-
Devils' regular season.
Devils regular season. But so the time on ice for that game, Bobrovsky obviously played a whole 139 minutes because he's the goaltender. 57 minutes for Montour, 55 for Forsling, 52 for Ekblad. Those are all defense.
It's a lot of minutes.
Skaters. 44 minutes for 3 guys. Verhaeghe, Alexander Barkov, both played 44 minutes. Mark Stahl got 44 minutes as well on defense with Ekblad. And then Reinhart and Kachuk both got 40 each. It was... So, here's how much they skated. The Panthers skated 107 miles in that game as a team.
Wow.
Road trip.
Road trip is right. And, it just... Bobrovsky with save after save. I'm sure with each save each goaltender made, I'm sure just like... Dude, y'all see that stat where, like, Bobrovsky loses, like, 10 pounds a game?
Oh no,
Yeah,
it was
in
like
a
15
normal
pounds a
game.
game, right?
In a normal 3-period
That's
game.
insane. No, it's funny. It's like with all that padding, he looks like massive, but
I
then
know.
No, he's so
he's
small
so
man.
skinny. The same thing. I was
Yeah.
talking with my dad about it. With Akira Schmidt. I know I keep
No, you're
on
good.
bringing up the Devils,
You're good.
but it's like funny. Like, do you see these goalies like Akira Schmidt, like big goalie and 6'5" and stuff like that, and then there was like a meet and greet, and this guy's so skinny,
Yeah, he's a
and it's
twig.
like what the heck? Where did all this?
Because all the skaters are, like, buff dudes.
Yeah.
So it's
Like,
pretty funny how
Bobrovsky
that works
probably
out.
lost, like, 50 pounds that game, making 60 saves and playing 139 minutes. This dude burned
Yeah.
every calorie in his body that was consumed that day. And, like, dude, all the fans up at 2 a.m. at the game, like, they got work the next day because it was a Thursday. You know what I'm saying?
I would
That's
just I would
wild.
just go cry if I had work
Yeah.
the next day and I saw my team.
I
lose
Oh,
wonder-
they
that bad.
lost, too. All the Canes
They
fans,
did.
they lost and they had worked in, like,
I
5 hours.
wonder-
I do not feel bad for them at all.
Me neither.
Neither do I.
I wonder, as a direct result, how many people got fired or reprimanded
Or, like,
from
didn't
their
go to work.
employers for directly because of the Hurricanes game.
Dude.
It had to be at least like 100. Like,
no, no.
I'm not saying fired, but reprimanded. Like, they either came in late when they weren't supposed to, or like just didn't show up that day, or like
The Panthers
the
posted this meme on the Twitter.
I saw that. Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
great. That was great.
the excuse.
Common Panther social media
Common
team.
Yeah.
Panthers social media team W. But this is probably like the greatest game. That's the greatest game ever, man.
Yeah.
Matthew Tkachuk wins it with, dude. If it went to another period, oh my god, the 7th intermission, dude. I saw a meme. This is the 7th intermission stretch here by the Florida Panthers, but it didn't get there. 12.7 seconds. Tkachuk wins the game, heads straight to the bus.
I think that if the game went to like 9 overtimes, Bobrovsky wouldn't even have any skin left on his body. Like, it would just be a straight skeleton in pads.
Skeleton and pads. So now let's move over to Western Conference talk here. We're talking Game 1. Game 1, Vegas, Dallas, which also, I'm glad this is the matchup, aside from the Vegas part. I'm glad to see Dallas here. I wish it was Dallas, Seattle. I would've been, Dallas, Edmonton would have been sick. But here we are. We got Vegas. Jason Robertson scores so fast. William Karlsson scores 2 goals. Rupe Hintz, goal in the third. Just trading blows. Teddy Bluger, Jamie Benn, and then overtime, so quick, Brett Howden scores. Game over. Vegas takes Game 1. How are you guys feeling about this series? And or that first game at least. Just that first game.
Happy for Brett Howden, former Ranger.
Former Ranger there.
He's really changed his game since he's left us. So it just doesn't work out in the place, and you go somewhere else and you start playing better. So happy for him.
You guys, this Game 1 here.
Aiden Hill has really stepped
Dude,
up
he
for them.
is.
He had the shutout in
Game 3,
three, but he's really stepped up here for them. Has just been a great goalie for them. They obviously had Marc-Andre Fleury for a bunch of years, and he took them to a cup.
Math.
But now it's Aiden Hill, a guy who not many people really know about, and this guy is just really just leading this team to the Stanley Cup Finals right now. It's pretty cool to see.
Not
Vegas taking that game. You guys come?
not to bring up the Devils, but Devils fans know exactly who Aiden Hill is.
Yeah, I know.
He-
he was great against
He
us. in that one
dominated
game.
us. He was
Ah.
really good.
But game 1 here goes to Vegas. He's still a good game, overtime win, but not 4 overtimes, 2 a.m. finish type stuff. You know what
Nope.
I'm saying?
Nope.
So now, game 2, Florida, Carolina. Everybody's like, how is this game going to go? Because these players just played 139 minutes of ice 2 days before. Here they are again. Game 2, and they score Carolina 1 minute in. Jalen Chatfield, goal, tip in. Boom, right? Then rest of that period, no goals. Second period, who saw Barkov's goal?
That was amazing. Though.
That
He
was
did the fake. He did the
beautiful.
fake in between the
Through
legs,
yeah.
and then
back out
Backhand
the legs.
roof.
that was one of the most beautiful goals. Gretzky was even giving him
Yeah,
a
dude.
lot of praise for that. That was one of the most beautiful goals I've ever seen in the playoffs.
That was a sick move.
And sometimes you need some big moments like that to really put your team over the edge. So
Did you
that
see
was
the goal or no?
great goal by Barkov.
I actually did not catch
Dude,
it.
go look at that. Let me see. Someone pull that up for him real quick. I'm gonna go try.
That goal, I don't even think I could pull it off that cleanly in like breaking the street warm-ups.
Dude, no chance.
that was just smooth.
Let me see if I can.
I'm trying to pull it up right now. Got a 15-second ad. Thank you, NHL app.
The goal from game 2. And that
Nasty.
was literally a goal for the ages, man.
Free pizza. Did anyone see the NHL tweet last night
No.
where if you tweeted at them, they send you a surprise today. Supposedly the prize is celebrate the Stanley Cup playoffs with a chance to win a free pizza, but a chance. So all these people, like millions of people, tweeted at the NHL because we're getting a surprise, but the surprise is that there's a giveaway. That doesn't seem much of a
This is
surprise.
an NHL L.
like
This is an L.
so all my friends right now are getting these tweets sent to them directly from the NHL. Chance to win a free pizza. It's very, very odd. I'm very confused. Like there was so much hype around this. Like a few years ago, over the COVID season, they did like everyone got like a free T-shirt. Like all you had to do is tweet at the NHL, and they shipped you a playoff T-shirt. It was nice.
Yeah.
Now there's a chance to win a free pizza. Like NHL, what are you doing? Your marketing is atrocious.
You see the goal?
I did see the goal. That's absolutely gross. What he did to the poor. What was it Craig Anderson?
No, that's
Freddie
in
Anderson.
the goal. That was not Craig Anderson playing.
Oh,
That
was it Antti Ranta?
That was Antti Ranta.
It was
that
Antti.
game.
Yeah. He's absolutely embarrassed by that one.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was-
Also, Chipotle yesterday had buy one
Yes.
get one free if you showed up in an NHL
That's a
jersey.
dub.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But that was the nicest goal I've ever seen. Rest of the period goes by. Third period goes by. No goal. Overtime. 1 minute 51 seconds in, bro. Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, Kachuk, window spot. Literally like it took only 2 minutes instead of 4 overtimes this time. Instead of 79 minutes, it took 2, which is a big difference.
Yeah.
They went up 2-0, and that was the best thing ever, stealing both in Carolina. Then Sunday, Dallas, Vegas, overtime again for Game 2. Miro Heiskanen, first goal. Mark Stone ties the game on the power play. Then Jason Robertson comes back, and then they're down in the third period. Dallas is winning, right?
2 minutes left, right? Something like that.
3 minutes left.
It's insane.
Jonathan Marchessault ties the game.
No quit in Vegas.
And then overtime, again, 1 minute in, Chandler Stevenson. Game winner. And Daniel, don't you have did you have a coworker that was like the Chandler Stevenson fanboy?
Yeah, and then and then
Oh my God, that
yeah,
whole
you
story.
forgot about the plot twist.
Yeah.
He ended up, I believe, breaking up with his girlfriend, and now he doesn't care about hockey again, quote unquote. Though he did post a screenshot from the game on his story last night, so maybe it appears that the love was so strong for the sport of hockey that even a relationship couldn't tear it
Yeah, you
down.
gotta
And
give
that
me the
is
story.
that is how people. Very long story short, I had a friend who I worked with who made fun of me for liking hockey. It's a stupid sport, blah blah blah. Then he starts dating this girl who's a big Golden Knights fan, and all of a sudden he loves hockey so much. Then they break up, but it appears that he still loves hockey so much because he got attached to it, and that's what happens. It's a fun
you become a
sport.
Vegas fan is a real question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
At least in New Jersey.
I couldn't tell you that. I don't have the answer there. It's strange, but
Well, that's and he loved Chandler Stevenson, I believe, right? Because
Yeah.
isn't he a homegrown Vegas Golden Knight?
I'm not sure about. Well, I don't think not. There's very few Knights that are
William
homegrown.
Karlsson, I think, is one of them.
Carlson was from the expansion draft, I think.
Okay.
I remember like wasn't there like first round draft pick that year, like Cody Glass or something like
Yeah.
that, and he did not turn out to be a good player
Yeah.
at all in the NHL.
Though he's playing well for Team Canada right now.
Oh,
Well, of course,
But-
because Team Canada is the best.
Oh yeah.
but
Uh,
Vegas.
I'm gonna bring Timbits from Tim Hortons to one of these meetings, and every time Justin says "can," I'm just gonna pelt it at him.
Boom, 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 boom. But Monday, just a couple nights ago, we had Cats Canes Game 3. This one I loved just because the Canes fans were so mad and the players were so mad. Because in this game, it was a first period of no goals. Dude, Florida got dominated first period. Actually, I'm messing up my periods. Florida, the first period was just all defense. A lot of defensive play. Second period. Keep in mind, Carolina had 14 shots in the second period to Florida's 5.
And then look at the next period. 11-2.
Yeah,
That's insane, and the
But-
fact, and the Panthers still
but
won.
guess what? Second period, Cats get a power play. And they run this power play all year. Montour sits at the top, running the quarterback. Sam Bennett moves around. Sam Reinhart's always in front of the goal. Matthew Tkachuk is behind the goal to the left side. So they swing it. Sam Bennett swings it over to Tkachuk. Inside Reinhart, one-timer. It works every single time. And they get that goal. He almost scored again later in the game from that same spot. But that's all they need. You get that goal from that one spot every game, and it works. Because after this, the defense, they did their... Sergei Bobrovsky's just a wall. He's literally just a wall right now. Saves everything in sight. Saves every puck coming his way. All 32 shots stopped. But the defense did also go crazy in this game. Let me bring up the team stats defensively for this team. So 23 blocked shots, 11 takeaways, 25 hits in this game.
That's really
25
good.
hits is not like a crazy amount. I've seen like 50 before, 40 something. But the 23 block shots and the 11 takeaways are good. Those are good numbers. They don't do great on the face-off, but that's fine because they're still doing their work. At the end of this, I believe, I forget which game. It might have been this. I can't remember if it was this game or was it game 2. Had 2 goals called back. I think it was game 2. Had 2 goals called back. But Florida ended up winning that one anyway. But game 3 here, it was just defense. At the very end of the game, there was a high stick. But it didn't get called. High stick on Florida.
We're talking about at the end, towards
Yeah,
the end.
the
Okay,
very-
yeah. So yeah, the funny thing is, me and Daniel were together. We were watching it, and we saw the high stick. I think it was totally embellishment because
Flop.
it was a total flop in my opinion.
That's true.
And then there was no penalty called, which I think was the right thing. And then the thing is, we were talking about it like, oh, maybe the Panthers' goal should have counted then, that empty net goal at the end, because then
Right, I saw the empty netter
technically
after
the penalty would have never
Yeah.
happened. But I mean, I guess you blow the whistle, it is what it is. But the funny thing is, like, we were watching, and then the fans throw the rats and stuff like that. The ref's trying to like maintain all order and stuff like that. When he just gets pelted by a rat.
The
I
rat,
just lost it when that happened. Like, I just burst out laughing just seeing the rat get pelted at the ref. Like,
the rat throw they've been doing since the Cup
I love
final run
it.
in '96.
I love it.
But is it as good as the live squid of the Detroit Red Wings?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that can beat
Yeah.
that.
At least these rats aren't live.
Yeah.
It would be pretty funny if they were, though.
How would you
Ref
see-
getting pelted with
So,
a live rat. I mean,
Sneaking
that'd be a
live rat- I
storyline.
think sneaking an octopus into an NHL arena is easier than a rat
It
because a rat,
like
do you-
runs around.
Yeah, you know what I
like
mean?
if you put it in your
Octopus-
pocket, it's just gonna run.
like
It's
Yeah.
a
gotta
rat,
climb
you
out
can't-
or something.
You can't. Like I think the octopus they like tape it to themselves and stuff like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? A rat will chew through your skin or something.
Yeah,
Literally,
no,
like,
I would not
You
mess
get
with a
scratched.
rat.
Like a rat is different. They have like nails, and like an octopus doesn't. They just don't. What's being laughed at right now, bro?
Yeah,
How'd we
me
get
and
here?
Justin just did
How
the
did we
same
get
thing.
here?
We both just took a step back and we were like, "This is like the episode of Breaking the Ice, right in the middle of the playoffs. Like when things are getting good, we're in the Eastern Conference Final. It's like, well, you know,
Rats
they
and
taped the
octopus.
octopus to herself, and the rat has nails and it could chew through your skin, and I'm just like, what is going on?
This is literally what NHL fans. This is the beauty of NHL fans.
We have too much fun on
We
Breaking
do
the
have
Ice.
too much fun on breaking the ice. But let's do last game last night.
Notice
What-
how the
what- what
Penguins
is there
fan.
other to say?
Notice how the Penguins fan isn't here, and we're all in a giddy mood.
Dude, if he was here right now, oh my god.
It would be heated right now. I was gonna bring my popcorn as well.
Yo!
I'll bring it next week.
So
Many choice words.
Vegas wins 4-0 yesterday. That's all. That's nothing but
That's it. It's out.
Jamie Benn, what are you doing?
Oh
Yes,
yeah, no,
yes.
that's a 1 game suspension right
Jamie
there.
Benn and Joe Valeno need to go to clown school.
Yeah, not even how bad that penalty was. Just for your team, you're the captain of that team. You're down 2-0 in the series. You get scored on a minute into the game, and like 15 seconds later, you go and do that, get yourself kicked out of the game. That's just terrible. Like, and what he did too is terrible, and what he did to his team is terrible. That just shows that how I think the Stars are done. Like,
Oh,
I don't know how they come back.
And then Jake Ottinger was their best player all
He's
season.
been
Coming into
bad.
playoffs, he saved 2 out of 5 shots, and then was taken out.
He's
and
looked like playoff VTech so far.
Vegas only had 16 shots this game compared to Dallas's 34. So
Yo, they scored 4 of them?
yeah, and they scored 4 goals out of those 16. 3 of those 5 came against Ottinger. So the fact that your
That's
best
wild.
player is
Dallas
playing bad,
Stars.
I'm sure their defense isn't helping either. But the funny thing is, Jake Ottinger had a 25.7 goals against average in this game.
Oh my lord.
Dude, both conference finals are 3-0 leads. Vegas up 3-0, Florida up 3-0. Are we starting the Cats Knights Stanley Cup Finals?
100%. It's
Yeah.
there's there only like 3 teams in the NHL history has come back, and the last time it happened was like
The Sharks.
19. It was the Kings against the Sharks
Kings
in 2013.
2014.
14 where the Kings went all the way to win the cup later.
That was
year.
that year?
Was
or
it
was
that
it
year?
2015?
It was one of those years. It was either
Hold up.
it was either 2013 or 2014. I know the Leafs did it once before in the Stanley Cup Finals, I believe, against the Red Wings, or maybe it was vice versa. But it's happened a few times in the NHL. I think it's highly unlikely it happens. It seems like the Stars are pretty much dead at this point, and Sergei Bobrovsky is just
It was
playing.
the year they went all the way, I think.
That's amazing. I'm like looking at that, and then look at the Cats. Right, they were down 3-1.
Yeah.
They came back, and then they were down 3-1 in the game, or 3-2 in the game,
They were so
and they tied it up with a
they
minute
were-
left. It's
in game 5, it went to overtime, and Kachuk won that one because Allmark, don't know what he was doing.
it was hard. But I'm just saying, like, it's just crazy how so many things like have to
Yeah.
go your way in order to like. It was really just the slimmest of chances possible that the Cats would be in this position. Maybe probably wasn't even a 1% chance when going into that game 5. It's just absolutely insane how much the Panthers had to have overcome to get to where they are now. Now they're 1 game away from the Stanley Cup Final. And look at it like last year.
All of America's rooting for him, bro.
I'm rooting for them too. They deserve it. But look at it like last year. They were the team that was supposed to go to the
they
Cup
were
Final.
the last year's Bruins,
And they had 116 points, won the President's Trophy, and then they got swept by the Tampa Bay
bro.
Lightning.
By the Tampa Bay
And now
Lightning.
it's
I
the
wanted
roles have
the
switched.
Lightning to beat the Leafs so bad, just so Florida could be the team to take them out in the second round. This year.
I understand
But
that.
it's
yeah.
all right. It happens. But even game 6 of that Boston series, they were down. They went into the third period up 3-2, right?
Mhm.
Bertuzzi scores in a minute 30 seconds, and then Pasternak scores on a power play. So they're down 4-3. Then Zach Dalpe, a fifth liner, he doesn't even get fourth line minutes. He scores in game 6 to tie the game with 13 minutes to go. Then Cats get a power play. You know what they do on the power play? Shorthanded goal gets allowed. Jake DeBrusk. So it's like, wow. But luckily they actually scored on that power play, and Kachuk tied the game. Then Etu Loisterinen with 4 minutes later, wrist shot, just buries it. And then Reinhardt empty netter, and they won that game. And then game 7, another wild one. Up 2-1 heading into the third. Bertuzzi scores a power play goal as soon as the period starts. Then Pasternak scores 3 minutes later, and it's like, bro. Empty net now. Cats empty net, a minute left. And then Montour ties the game. Sends it to overtime, and Verhaeghe wins the whole series. And then Toronto was a destruction of Toronto. It's just after the Boston series, after the first 4 games, everything just started clicking. After they dogged their way out of the Boston series, destroyed Toronto, and now they're destroying Carolina.
And it makes Boston look better because
It does make Boston look better. Though, you're right.
They were supposed to be the greatest team of all time. Oh, they were the greatest regular season team of all time, but now it looks better that the Panthers took them down. Now they're just dominating all their competition. So it seems like the Bruins were probably, we'll see what happens if they play Vegas in the Cup final. But it seems like Boston was really just the best team remaining, or best team outside of Florida, at least right now, for me. So I don't know. If Florida wins the Cup, it's going to be the greatest story in NHL history for me, in my opinion. I just think it's truly amazing.
I'm ready for it, man. Start the parade. Anybody but Vegas. Anybody but Vegas.
The 6 fans showing up for the parade.
What?
The 6 fans showing up for the parade.
bro. Dude, we beat the fan allegations. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, you guys did.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Dude, the arena was legitimately rocking in Game 3.
It was over 100%.
And you got the fans were like singing along to the songs that they were playing on the PA system. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen, like, because I've never seen that. I've never seen that at a sporting event before, especially not them. I remember watching this team back in 2015 when they had back when the no fan meme was like in effect, and it's so different now because like Kodak. It all started with Kodak, man. We're just gonna leave it at that.
Oh, man.
But Vegas though, like, if they win, I'm a bit depressed because
Oh, well, of course.
why they don't just no anyone else, literally anybody else. I'd rather Dallas I hope Dallas completes the comeback, bro. Hope Dallas completes the comeback.
I doubt it.
I'd love it, but I strongly doubt it.
Yeah.
Strongly doubt it too.
Nope.
What do they need to do it? What do they need to do it, huh?
I don't even know. Way better.
We
Play
have
better. Yeah, or,
Do better.
Score more goals than the other team.
Yeah.
They need us. You know, that's what they need.
Yeah, they need breaking the
streak.
streak.
Now, if you were to, let's do a little roundup here. So 4 teams left of all the teams that lost in the second round. So, what do they need to do? What do they need to do in the future?
So what teams are we talking about?
Edmonton.
I don't even know what they have to do. They have the best 2 players in the league. What else do they have to do?
Invest in the bottom 6 in the defense.
Yeah, but we've been talking about that for years now, and they still don't do anything about it. They have Stuart Skinner as their goaltender. And that's horrible. Their defense is horrible. I don't know what the heck that team has to do. Their top 6 is amazing. They have Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, Evander Kane. It's truly stacked. I don't know what that team has to do. And also, you have so many big contracts, so it's hard to get big defensemen and stuff like that added to your team. What else we got? Devils. I think re-sign your top guys. Timo Meier, Jesper Bratt, Eric Haula. And then maybe you keep one of Ryan Graves or Damon Severson, and then just go from there. And I think maybe sign maybe like a bottom 6 free agent, maybe add a little defenseman, something like that. But I feel like the Devils are fine where they are. They took a big step this year, and they're only going to get better from here. I think their young talent's going to get better next season, so they don't have to go out and do something crazy in free agency. But we got Leafs. I have no answer to that. I'm moving on. And what's the other team am I missing?
You
Western.
are missing the who are you missing? The Kraken.
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 They're fine where they are. They don't have to do anything. I think they have a good amount of salary cap as well going into this offseason, so they can make some splashes. They're in a great spot right now. That team, really good. They took the Stars all the way to 7, lost by 1 goal. What a great year it was for the Seattle Kraken.
I got a great one now.
Go for it.
So awards. He was on my show last week. Matt was on here last week when we discussed this. But now you guys get to join in on the fun. The NHL awards, they released all the finalists for everything. So now we're gonna run through if you feel good about the finalists and who should win. So start with the Hart because it's the most important. It's everyone's favorite, the MVP of the NHL.
Well, before anything, if anyone's wondering, I did not win the free pizza from the NHL.
So McDavid is gonna win this award.
Yep.
So let's talk about the finalists outside. David Pastrnak and Matthew Tkachuk.
David Pastrnak's earning every penny he's getting in his contract right now, in his new contract, so great player. Matthew Tkachuk, obviously best season of his career, and he's just getting better year by year. And I'm not going to say carry the Panthers because the Panthers now have other guys stepping up, like Barkov, Verhaeghe, other guys. But Tkachuk's led them to this point right now where they are. Phenomenal player. Phenomenal. He might
Did
be...
they get the finalists right?
100%. I don't...
Because I was looking at Draisaitl, and I was like...
I mean, I don't think you could put 2 guys from the same team on there, unfortunately. I mean, Jack Hughes, maybe a top 5 candidate, but...
Borderline.
Top 5, I would say. But I think they have the right guys in there. Tkachuk was the biggest reason why the Panthers snuck into the playoffs. Even that, we were talking about...
Imagine if it was
Panthers,
the Penguins that made it in instead, bro. Like,
thank
oh
God,
my
bro. AJ has nothing to talk about. AJ, if you're listening... We don't miss you. Don't come back.
Why do you think he keeps talking about the Devils and taking shots at us? Because he literally is bored. He has nothing to do. He's not used to this.
This kid FaceTimes me and tries to text me all the time, and I just ignore him, bro.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not giving this kid the satisfaction. I don't care at all what AJ has to say, dude.
We're literally living rent free in his mind.
I know.
Besides me commenting on his rant for two comments. I mean, I literally have ignored every single thing he said, every FaceTime, every text.
Yeah,
and he just keeps going.
Let AJ go. I don't just keep on.
Go ahead.
Dude,
he's speaking into
clip.
a void.
I found the Instagram clip. So, Vezina. What?
The Instagram
clip?
Yeah, great.
Vezina. Connor Hellebuck, Ilya Sorokin, Linus
Ullmark, even though he choked in the playoffs, he had one of the best goaltending seasons in regular season history. So yes.
On the show last week, I had a controversial take. I said Sorokin, just because I was like, the impact that he had on the Islanders.
That's
like
true.
he really
I can't argue that.
Puts them on his shoulders, and Ullmark been great, obviously, but they do a great job in front of him. And even when you see him out, and they got Jeremy Swayman in the net, and he's doing almost just as well as Ullmark is. So I really would have. It's unfortunate for Sorokin that Ullmark's statistics are as good as they are.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll get one soon, though. Sorokin.
If Sorokin wasn't on the Islanders, they would have been a bottom 5 team in the league last season. I think they're going to be horrible next year. To be honest with you, the Islanders stink.
They have.
Stink.
I already went on my Matt Barzal rant on this show in the past, but the Islanders name me one prospect that the Islanders have that could become even borderline elite in this league.
Nobody.
The one they had, they traded.
Yeah, to
Ratu.
Yeah,
but even he was borderline.
And then they have that Bo Horvat now contract, and he
awful contract.
He stunk for them in the playoffs.
He had a good few months, and that earned him a ridiculous contract that he did not deserve. When your GM yourself jokes that it's too much money for too many years, I don't think that's a joke. Like he laughed about it, but I don't think that's a joke. I think that's a truth.
And the funny thing is, Lou Lamoriello ain't going nowhere. He's staying there until the day he dies.
It's like the Tom Brady speech where he's like, "We're still here." Like that. That's Lamoriello.
I love that speech. Anyway,
Ted Lindsay, which is similar to the MVP award.
What's our candidates?
Erik Karlsson, McDavid, Pastrnak.
Just those two?
Yeah, those three.
Oh,
Erik Karlsson, Connor McDavid,
okay.
David Pastrnak.
I mean, probably McDavid.
Yeah, right? Ted Lindsay?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with giving him 2 trophies with the season he just had. I'll give McDavid.
This one's that's a weird one, honestly. But now let's
It's-
move on to a better one here. Norris Trophy. Carlson, McCarr, Fox.
Carlson, 100%. I'm sorry. You're not gonna like this, but I don't think Adam Fox should have been in the top 3 in my opinion. I thought he stunk in the playoffs for the Rangers. Do you?
Yeah, towards the end of that, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But regular season wise, he was great.
Oh no, he was
Yeah.
great in the regular season. I'm not gonna disagree with you there. Eric Carlson by far though had the best season out of any defenseman, especially offensively. He had like 90 something points.
100 points.
100 points.
Yeah.
I was underrating him.
I got Carlson over Fox, even the bias in me, but still Carlson I have winning that one.
Yeah, Carlson deserves it. It's gonna be interesting. Like, what do the Sharks do with him? I feel like
It's a strange scenario because he's
It's
not going to
tough.
be. I don't think he'll ever be able to repeat a season like this.
I think he could. The fact that he's doing it at the age he is, why not? So I like Carlson. I think
Oh, my phone just fell.
I could see him getting traded at the deadline maybe next year if the Sharks are like.
The thing
at
is,
the same
his
part.
contract's ginormous, right?
But I mean, he's worth it because then if he's playing at the level he was this past season, then I think it's worth it for a team if they have enough cap to make it work.
All right, gang. Calder, Matty Beniers, Owen Power, Stuart Skinner.
Stuart Skinner.
Yes.
No, that's how you know the rookies were really bad this year.
Matty Beniers, boys.
Matty Beniers, yeah.
Yeah, it's been years 100%. There was a time where Fabian Zetterlund was considered in top 5 of Calder Trophy voting. That's how bad
In
it
the
was.
beginning of the year, yeah, he was really good, Zetterlund. I'm excited to see the Calder race next year. Is going to be fun with Connor Bedard and Luke Hughes.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a good race. Because Luke Hughes kind of not established himself, but he proved
he
a
can
lot.
definitely, yeah.
He proved he could keep up with everybody, and he had a good playoffs for us. And Bedard, generational talent coming into the
Yeah.
NHL on Chicago. I'm not gonna say like he's gonna have an 80-point season, but I mean, he's definitely gonna go up in the first or second line immediately there, and I think he could put up 60 points in his first year there for Chicago.
So they also, I believe it was today, they announced the Jim Montgomery Award, or the finalist, which is the GM of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Zito, Don Sweeney, Jim Nill.
Vamos Gatos, Bill Zito.
Yes, sir. Bill Zito. I mean, I don't know, because, like, Don Sweeney, the Bruins GM, like, it is a regular season award at the end of the day.
It feels like it
Is
should.
the GM award a regular season award?
Yes, it is.
Dude, because it's not even... Dude.
Unfortunately, it is, but it shouldn't.
Yeah, I think you can't not
Like,
take the
Zito's
playoffs into
trade?
account.
Because the thing is, as a GM, your goal is not to be the best team in the regular season; is to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, bro, Zito's team, Zito's big trade is 1 win away from a Stanley Cup final, where all of Don Sweeney's trades gave up assets for some rentals. You know what I mean? It's literally what Zito did last year.
Yup.
When they traded first-round pick for Sherratt. Thank God that's going to be, like, pick 29 now and not pick 10.
Yeah, right.
First-round pick for Giroux. That might be next year, I think. Which GM though? I don't know. If it's a regular season award,
Bruins. I'll still go Bruins.
dude, that makes me so mad, bro. Cause like no, you know what I mean?
It's just how it's gonna happen.
Bill Zito's team beat your team.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Bruins had the best season in NHL history. All the awards. Coach of the Year is gonna go to Bruins. It's just how it's gonna work.
I'm trying
Did
to
they release
think
Jack
of.
Adams?
Jack Adams, yeah, Jack Adams.
I'm trying to think what was the Bruins' best move. Like I feel like the Panthers
Bertuzzi
had.
was a good trade.
Yeah, that's right.
Bertuzzi
That's
was
right.
amazing.
That's good.
He was one of their best players in that first round. Zaka worked out pretty well for them. Who else?
Dmitry Orlov was there too.
He was there. That's
Yeah,
it.
he was there.
He was there. I don't know.
Tanner Jeannot, trade of the year.
I don't know like what else they really
Yo,
did change.
Tanner's Jeannot Conn Smythe run didn't go.
Yeah.
planned. Best trade
wow.
ever. Are you aware of this trade, Matt?
Did you know? Yeah. Oh, it was crazy.
1, 2,
Crazily
3, 4, and
awful.
5.
Yeah. I mean, wow. I couldn't believe it when I saw that, and now it's even more laughable.
I will never forget that episode where we just ripped apart Tampa Bay, like the entire episode, just for how horrible that trade was.
if the Cats win a cup, right? Like,
When they win a cup,
oh yeah,
yes.
when the
When,
Cats win a
yeah.
cup, when the Cats
Come on.
win in a couple weeks, right?
Come on now.
So like, Tampa's reign as the top of Florida, dude. For them to already lose it that fast,
You should go to the parade when they win the cup.
Yeah, you have to.
I guess yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the next day you could go to the Miami Heat.
Yes, bro. Let's go to
Parade.
back to back. Let's make that occur. But it's for real. We got 10 minutes left here on Breaking the Ice. NHL All-Star teams. Y'all have any thoughts on who those guys could be?
What are we talking about?
The All-Star teams they released at the end of the year.
Oh, I didn't even realize they released the All-Star
They didn't
teams.
release them. I'm saying, who do you guys think
Oh.
could make those teams?
Capo Caco, Tanner Janot.
John Gillies, Andrew Hammond,
Yeah.
goaltender one. But how the teams work is so a center. There's 2 centers, 2 left wings, 2 right wings, 4 D-men, 2 goaltenders make up the team.
Is
each
there
year.
is there a first team, second
Yeah,
team?
first
and,
team, second team.
So just in the NHL or conference based?
No, it's not conference based, just the whole league. Here's last year's teams for me to.
Okay.
All right, so. Oh my God, I gotta look up.
It's gonna be a lot of. It's gonna be like 2 Bruins at least on there.
So, last year, first and second team. First team last year, Shesterkin was in goal.
Yep.
It was Johnny Gaudreau left wing,
Ha 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 ha.
Austin Matthews
Ha,
center,
ha, ha.
Mitch Marner right wing, Cale Makar and Roman Yossi on the D pair.
Okay.
Second team last year, Jacob Markstrom in goal, Jonathan Huberdeau left wing, Matthew Tkachuk right wing, when they get traded for each other, and then Connor McDavid center, D pairing being Victor Hedman and Charlie McAvoy. So now we move to this year. Connor McDavid will probably be the first team center,
Yeah,
because, like, you know,
obvious reasons.
obvious reasons.
Pasta right wing.
And Matthew Tkachuk, wait, is he a left wing?
They
Is he a
can
right wing?
they can make it
yeah,
work.
Yeah.
They can make it work. He deserves to be up there.
Matthew Tkachuk, Pasta, McDavid.
And then it has to be Carlson as one of the
Carlson
D-men.
and who else? Fox or McCarr. It's one of those 2 guys.
I think McCarr.
I don't know, to be honest.
It's
McCarr,
hard, though.
Carlson.
I feel like if we're saying Allmark is gonna win the Vezina, then it has to be him.
Okay, now Pasternak. Okay, so yeah, Pasternak, Tkachuk. Yeah, Tkachuk as a left wing. Okay, so Tkachuk, Pasternak, McDavid, and then if you go D-man, Carlson, and yeah, you're gonna go with McCarr. Goaltender, Allmark.
Yeah.
Okay,
Backup goalie,
Sorokin. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
okay.
Sure.
I
now
agree.
back up. Second team, yeah, second team would be Sorokin, Draisaitl in the center position. I feel
Yep.
Yeah.
Nikita Kucherov
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
because he dropped 113 points, and then left wing. I mean, there's Jason Robertson dropped 109.
Yeah, I think he deserves that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really he needs some more credit.
He's a
yeah,
stud.
That's the only one on the Stars team that maybe showed up the playoff in this series for them. But obviously Rupe Hintz.
Yeah, Rupe Hintz.
with
bro.
he was having a legacy playoff performance up until this series. But
So now,
yeah, I really like him.
who's the second best goaltender this season? It's Sorokin, I guess.
Sorokin.
Gotta
It
be.
has to
Sorokin.
be.
So now D-men.
Fox.
This is going to be really difficult here. The best
Ugh.
2 D-men behind.
Fox and
So Eric Carlson at the top with 101 points, right? And then Cale Makar only dropped 66 points in 60 games. He only played 60 games, but he still was a Norris finalist. So I'm assuming he's going to be up there with Fox. Quinn
It's-
Hughes dropped 76 points.
I was gonna say Quinn Hughes or Dougie Hamilton,
Or
one of the
Josh
two.
Morrissey dropped 76 points too.
I
Brandon Montour had 73.
would say
Darlene Heiskanen all had 73.
I was gonna say Miro Heiskanen as the second pairing, and also he's been he was really good in the good in the playoffs so far for Dallas, so I think he would deserve it.
Boys, we've had a great 2 hours today. We got 6 minutes left. Tonight, it's Cats Canes. What's the final score?
Cats
Cats
3,
by a million.
Canes 2, overtime winner.
Overtime winner.
I am gonna go Brandon Montour.
Dude, a blue
Overtime
line
winner.
snipe. A
Wow.
blue line snipe for the win.
You could laugh at me now, but when Zach Dalpe has the game-winning goal tonight, you will
Dude,
love me.
Hold on. He has to crack the lineup.
I don't think he's playing.
So-
Oh wait, no,
so-
is he? I don't know.
So, Barkov's
If
playing.
he's on the ice, he's scoring the game-winning goal.
That's the I don't think he's gonna be on the ice because he doesn't like. First line is Barkov's active tonight, so it's gonna
Yep.
be Barkov, Verhage, Duclair. That's line 1. Line 2, Nick Cousins, Sam Bennett, Matthew Tkachuk. Line 3 is Lusterinen, Reinhart, Anton Lindell. Then line 4 they have Eric Stahl, Ryan Lomberg, and who's the fourth guy? I'm forgetting my own team right now. I'm forgetting my own roster. It's Lomberg, Eric Stahl, Colin White. Yes, Dalpe is not going to play.
Rip.
So
That broke my heart.
Unless somehow he gets hurt, you predicting an injury? Are you predicting an
No,
injury?
no, I am not.
Wow. That's messed
I'm not
up,
like
James.
that.
So who's scoring the game-winning goal tonight then?
I'm gonna
Someone's,
go Anthony Duclair.
Duclair.
Let's go.
He's been quiet this playoffs, but he's made a lot of good
He's due.
passes.
He's
Off-
due.
Dude.
He's due for a goal. Yeah, he's definitely due for a goal. He had a great season last year, and this year he got the Achilles injury, but he's came back. He's playing good. Matt, what's the final score tonight?
I've got 2-1 Cats. Game-winning goal goes to Carter Verhage.
That's a great choice, man. That man led the team in goals all year long. He had 42 in the regular season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Bobrovsky's on a tear, so if he allows a goal, it's gonna be 1. And I agree with you.
Oh.
Every game's been close.
I thought you were saying Bobrovsky was gonna score the game-winning goal.
Yes, bro, goalie goal for the win. That'd be
Can
the
you-
greatest thing. Empty that goalie goal for the win.
We'd have to have a whole episode just about that goal.
Dude, yeah. But 2-1 Cats, no overtime. Game winner, I feel like Sam Reinhart is going to keep momentum rolling. So Cats in 4. Now, Dallas, Vegas, tomorrow.
Vegas.
I think Dallas gets 1.
Vegas. in
Dallas
4.
got to win 1. They're at home. They're due.
Dallas is gonna go the Maple Leafs route of winning 1 to give them false hope and then losing Game 5.
Is
The
that
gentleman's sweep.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, sweet.
Dallas winning tomorrow, 3-2 overtime. Game winner, Jason Robertson.
Hmm.
I like that. I like that. You know,
I could see that.
I
Going
picked the Stars to
Vegas.
win this series, but I mean, I'm talking last game. They look done. But I obviously don't like the Knights. I would like to see them not win, but I just don't think the Stars have it in. I predict a sweep. I think they finish it off.
You guys.
Vegas is gonna sweep.
Oh.
I'm gonna say Jack Eichel gets you
Okay,
the game-winning
okay.
goal.
And Daniel, last person.
Gotta agree with you, Connor. Dallas is
Jason
taking
Robertson,
that
game
one.
winner.
J-Rob.
Now,
Let's go.
I just want to do one more thing here. Let's take a look at our bracket challenges.
Oh man.
Nah, I'm not looking at that.
I'm looking at it for you guys. Don't even worry about that.
I don't even remember what I put. I can't lie.
I put Boston, Edmonton. Dude, it looked so good going into the playoffs. I was like, this is a lock. And then
There's no such thing as locks in
Mine is
sports.
a
no,
lock.
yes, there is. And when it comes to like the NBA, yes, there is. And like other sports,
At
yeah.
least in hockey.
In hockey, probably not. But I mean, Boston, the fact that you're the best team in NHL history and you just don't go to the
So
cup at
let's,
least.
The only people that have possible points is me and Tanner still. So let's review what the deal is. I don't even think one of you guys did you submit on this thing?
I don't remember.
No, Daniel
I-
didn't.
Daniel didn't. Yo, you
No.
have a bracket though, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, so AJ got last place.
Classic. Well, are we surprised?
He got the entire Eastern Conference incorrect in the first round,
Yeah.
and then Western Conference he got entirely correct. But
That's
then
so weird.
after that, he got the whole second round wrong, so he didn't get far. Campbell got second to last because he had the Bruins in the championship.
Yep, just like me.
Nem got third to last with the Bruins in the championship, and you know what the best part about Nem's bracket was?
She picked the Devils to lose in the first round.
She picked Rangers in 7.
Nem's not allowed on the show anymore.
Yo, she came for your throat in the group chat today, bro.
Yeah, I know. yeah. How about she says that to my face?
Oh my god. New Instagram clip, guys. So, Alex got 4th, 58 points. He had the Rangers in the cup. You know. it ain't worked so well as
Did-
of now.
Didn't you say AJ got the entire Eastern Conference wrong?
Yes.
I got 3 out of 4 right. Just want to put that out there.
Was the one that you got incorrect, Florida?
Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin got third. 72 possible points, but your bracket can't go any further. So let's review your bracket here.
We'll take it.
You guessed Edmonton in 6 correctly on the dot. You guessed Vegas in 6, they won in 5. You got Dallas in 7, they won in 6. But you had Colorado in 5, which was your big downfall there. Then in the Western Conference Final, you had Colorado, Edmonton, and there's the story because it was Dallas
Yep.
and Vegas. Eastern Conference. Wow, you went crazy in the first round. You got Devils in 7 on the dot. You got Canes in 6 on the dot, and you got Leafs in 6 on the dot. But you had Bruins in 5.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
And then you had
I
Devils
wasn't
Bruins.
familiar with your team's game.
And then you had Devils Bruins in the Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah.
And it's Cats Canes. So your whole bracket unraveled pretty much second round.
Yep.
But you got third place. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Tanner has 81 points right now, and his bracket's still alive. And here's why. Western Conference, he got Edmonton in 6 on the dot, Vegas in 5 on the dot. Dallas in 7. He had Dallas in 7, and he had Colorado in 5. He had Dallas winning second round. Only guy who had Dallas winning second round. As you're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, this is Breaking the Ice. Closing the show out now. He had Dallas winning the Stanley Cup final, so they can still score a lot of points. But he had the Rangers winning the cup. He got every team in the East wrong except for Carolina and Toronto, and they ended up both losing second round anyway. My bracket now, I had Cats in 7. I got 6 of the first round teams correct. I had Cats,
That's a dub.
Vegas, Edmonton, Dallas, and the Devils and the Canes all correct. My second, I had Colorado, Edmonton, Western Conference Final though. Eastern Conference Final, the Cats are riding my whole bracket. So boys, it's a pleasure having you on the radio today. 2 hours of breaking the ice down the drain. Any last words you guys have for the crew?
Yes, I do. Quebec City, get ready. There's a new hockey team coming your way real soon.
Hey, I think we think they're going to Utah.
Salt Lake City or Houston probably.
Cats in 4. That's my final words. Goodbye, Canes.
I don't think they're leaving Arizona, in all honesty.
They have to.
They're-
Where are they gonna play? And next year, yeah, they're gonna play Mold Arena again. Where are they gonna play after that?
They'll figure it out. I don't think they should, but I think they're going to.
I don't think they should either, because it's upsetting for their fans. I would be devastated. So I mean, it stinks for them. They don't deserve it.
What final words, boys?
I'm gonna have an absolute bombshell, very random, but Lane Hudson will have as good or better of a career than Luke Hughes.
Okay. Matt, your last final stuff here?
2 words. Vamos Gatos.
All right, everyone, you're listening to Breaking the Ice here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. When we come back next week, I guarantee we'll have the Stanley Cup final matchup ready for y'all.